Go.
Cheers, everyone. It's a Texas Toast podcast with Miss Helen, and a big welcome to Rich O'Toole, dear friend of mine. Just been knowing Rich for a long, long time, and it's so nice to have you back on the podcast and to get to catch up on everything going on with you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, I reached out to y'all because me and Tammy are working together again, and I want the single to do well, and I love Texas radio, and I want to get back involved. So I'm excited to be on the show.
Well, that's what was so exciting for me because the timing really took me back because I've known you since the beginning of time, since I was in radio,
Right.
and now I'm doing this internet radio thing. And so Tammy sent over all of her songs. I have her Dropbox, and I saw you on there, and I was like, this is like weird because like it's one of the first songs that I'm putting in and programming is Rich.
Yeah. I don't know. I had such a battle with Texas country music because I went down like a dark path, and I just wanted to like get in the light again. And so I called Tammy, and I was like, I got to do this again. I
Mhm.
love it. I love Texas radio. I write music for it, so we're in. Like, I love it. So I don't know why. I don't
Well,
know why that
yes.
was. There's a lot of there's a lot of trouble with the scene, but there's also like it's great. I just want to keep releasing songs for radio. I love Texas radio. So
Well,
sorry,
it's
makes
always good to
sense. I
hear
don't
you
know.
on the radio because yes, it makes sense, absolute sense. And I'm so glad that you're making that sense because it's great to hear you back on the radio with 4th of July. Great single off of your album Ghost, which you have some great
Yeah,
songs on it because I know we had visited a little bit about that before the album was coming out. So why did you pick 4th of July?
I think it's the best song on the record. I think it's commercially, July 4th is coming up. I think it'll sell records. I think it's great. It's a great song. I would have picked something else, but Tammy, she's not gonna let me pick a song that I love. She's gonna make me pick a song that's commercially great. So if it was
Yes.
up to me, I would have done Love on a Sunday or, what's a couple other songs on the record. But, it's not about that. It's like she's got to have a song that's a racehorse. And I think 4th of July is a racehorse on the record. So I was like, all right.
Yeah, that's why she's the best in the business and does what she does.
She broke Gary Allen, man. She's amazing. She's actually really great.
Hmm.
She's like my radio mom. And that's why I want to get back in it. I was like, Tammy, I want to do this. I want a song I want 2 songs a year, and I want to work
Hmm.
text radio. I really miss it a lot. So to be honest with you, this is why I get back into it, is I miss it.
Well, I'm excited to hear that. Very excited. So
Yeah.
you also made a big move. You went from H Town to beautiful, beautiful Fredericksburg.
I had a choice. My story is unique on the fact that like I bought when I was 35, I bought my dream home. I had a moat around it. It was awesome in Nashville, and I had a record deal, and then COVID hit. So
Mm,
here I am. I own a record label in Nashville. I'm killing it, out of business. So I said, well, I'll sell my house there, and I'll buy a house in Houston and live there and be next to my parents because COVID's going on. And for me, I loved it, but I wasn't doing anything musically. I wasn't doing anything, Helen. I was doing nothing. I was not
mhm.
writing. I wasn't doing any work. And it made sense at the time because my parents are there. But then I was like, man, I gotta get to work. Like, I need to write. I need to put songs on the radio. Let's go. I wasn't doing that. So for me,
Yeah.
the hill country made sense because I was always out here. Robert Keene's here. I'm obsessed with Robert Keene. I think Robert Keene's one of the greatest songs
Hmm.
that ever existed. He lives in Kerrville. I was like, I'm moving to Fredericksburg. And I was out, I was already spending money on the Airbnbs and stuff like that. So I was like, it made sense, man. So I sold my house in Houston and I moved out here because I was like, I want to be in. I love Texas country music. I think it's great. Like the stuff I write
Hmm.
is about Texas. I love it, and so it was important to me to move out here. And so I hope people understand that.
It's a beautiful place. And then right over the hill where the tower is Lukenbach. And we have
So great.
relatives there with Wild Seed Farms. Have you been to Wild Seed Farms yet?
Haven't
You need
been
to go
yet.
over there.
No, it's my first.
Tell cousin Marla hello.
It's my first introduction, and honestly, it's kind of a weird introduction because like, oh, my best friend John Wells lives here, and when I moved here, I give up alcohol for Lent every year.
Hmm.
So, I was sober when I moved here, and now I'm like, all right, it's my like 4th day back, and I was like, yeah, the town's a little different. People here like to drink some wine, man. So
They like their wine.
I had
Mm.
to figure that out too. So
Now I noticed that you're doing a big 4th of July celebration. Like literally for 4th of July. I know the
Yeah.
single's 4th of July, but we're talking about like something you're doing special for 4th of July, I saw.
I think it's my introduction to the town. I think it's cool. My buddy Ed owns a venue here, and I was like, all right, let's do something July 5th and let's promote it and let's get after it. I think it's kind of fun. So it's, yeah, July 5th. We're doing a Rich Toole Fest here in Fredericksburg, and we're going to try to build it like Willie's Picnic, and we're doing, get my favorite songwriters on it, and we're going to figure it out. So
That's exciting. So what's the venue? Where is it going to be at?
it's on Main Street. It's called the Crockett Haus. Everything here is a Haus, not a house. It's like a German
Okay.
town. So,
Yes.
um,
German, yes.
yeah. So we're gonna put on a big festival starting at like noon and songwriters, and I'll probably hit the stage around 7 o'clock, and it's great. So I'm excited about it.
That's fun. Fireworks. Gonna have some fireworks
I
around
think
there.
the town will have them. I don't know if they'll approve us. We're in a drought right now. Look at that. I think we're
Yeah. Well, I'm excited about that. Any particular artists that you can announce that are going to be there that you're pulling in? Not
no, I think
yet.
we're doing all locals. Like to me, I'm more organic these days. I'm
Hmm.
so anti-corporate. I don't want to bring in anybody but someone I trust or like I want that's what I want about the Rich Tool brand is I just want people to know that like it's real. Because I
Hmm.
feel like when I started, it was so fake. And I had to
Really?
prove to I had to prove to people that it wasn't. Because, honestly, it does hurt me a little bit, Helen, because like you walk into a room and you're like a good looking dude in his 20s and people thought I was some Nashville POS. I'm like, no, I'm a guy from Texas. Like, this is my state. We'll figure this
Hmm.
out. And
Oh,
it's like I
see,
had to go through this like reverse thing where it just hurt my soul because I was like, people think I'm such a frat boy POS. I'm like, I'm not. I have a heart of gold, man. I'm great. So it was hard for me for a while. I was
mm,
like, damn, it was tough.
hmm. Well, I knew you had been through some tough times, but to me personally and professionally, I always saw you as Rich O'Toole, the Texas artist. And it's like anything you ever put out to radio, anything you sent to us, anytime you came by the station, to me, it was always just, it was pure and it was just good, good Texas music.
I think when I went through a hard time, it was because I was like sad about that stuff. I didn't like, I wake up sometimes telling, I'm sorry, this is getting deep on your podcast, but it's probably good
That's
for
okay.
ratings. I wake up sometimes I was really sad, man. I was like really sad. I wake up and go, why do people hate Rich O'Toole? I was like, I,
Oh,
I tried my best. I went out there and did a radio. I put out great music. I wrote great music.
hmm.
Why are people so mad about this? Is there something internally wrong with Texas country where when a guy succeeds that they try to, tear him down? That's not why I got into it. I
Hmm.
got into it because I was obsessed with Pat Green and Robert O'Keefe and Jared Jeff Walker. That's why I got into it.
Yes,
What
you were. Yes, you were.
what 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 happened to me where people are like, screw Rich O'Toole. I don't like Rich O'Toole. You never met me. You never had a beer with me. You never sat down and had a cup of coffee with me. You never did. How do you say these things? I won't even name it. I was at the award show a couple of years ago, and I told Tammy, I said, I don't want to go to the award show anymore because there's a guy that's like very important in that award show that walked up and goes, "You'll never play my festival ever again. You'll never do it." So something you tweeted out in 2013. I was like, really? Because I thought what I said was very important. So my bad, buddy. My bad. There's a lot of jealousy and hate in this team, and I hate that because there's so many great guys like Bubba Wesley and Josh Adam,
Hmm.
Andy Rogers, and Wade Owen. Like, there's so many great people, and like, man, half the time I'm in meetings or parties with somebody. Sorry, is this getting too deep? I don't want. You can
No,
cut.
no, go
But
ahead,
half
because
the
I
time
go,
I'm,
keep
I'm
going.
around
We're going to go
people,
with this.
people are gossiping to me, and they're just all this hate. Like, so and so did this, and so did that. I'm like, man, can you focus on like how important this scene is and how great it is, and the movement, and like how amazing the artists are and how great they are at writing? Because I guarantee you, when I leave that room, they're saying the same thing about me, and I hated that. So the dark times that you saw me
Hmm.
go through were probably based on the fact that like I just hated people talking bad about me. I hated it. It crushed my
Hmm.
soul, dude.
All right.
It just
Yeah.
crushed it.
I'm glad we're talking about this, and I'm so sorry that happened to you. But you're an overcomer, and you're in Fredericksburg now, and you're releasing to radio, and you have this album, and things are going to go good. I have a good feeling. But
I
I'm glad
appreciate
you're
that.
bringing this up because I don't know who the person was I that talked about never going to play the festival again. But everyone that's listening to this, whether you're in the business or out of the business, everybody has a heart and a soul, and everybody's heart and soul is in this music business. And I have been hearing too many ridiculous stories about people getting hurt and like what you're talking about. Y'all, we have such a good thing with the Texas country music industry and the scene.
I know.
There are like you named off some great names, and I could get going. And I have a lot of artists that confide in me. I guess I'm kind of like their mama too. And it's like, and it breaks my heart when I have to hear things, but it's like you have to remember something, especially if you've been in this industry for a long time and you have a heritage festival or you have a heritage venue. People like Rich, when he was coming up, when you were young, some of the young artists we have coming up now, I sat and witnessed right outside this studio years back, a young artist here playing. That person was his idol. Like that was who he wanted to grow up
Right.
to be like. And he got smashed by this person right in front of me. I have never been so furious. And I'm not somebody, I'm nobody, but whatever. But I know how hard, especially the up and coming artists, and I know the road for you has been hard. But everybody who's listening to this in the industry or outside the industry, we have to stop with this because there's too many good things going on. Too
There's too
many
many
good
good things,
things.
and people need to just shut up about it because it's obnoxious is the word. It's like stop.
Hmm.
Everyone's a great person, and if they're not, if you hear a rumor and the rumor's true, I understand that. But most people are really great. Don't do that, man.
Yes.
Help them out. Like
Hmm.
honestly, they're good people. Get their side of the story. Like that was the thing about me was I'm Irish. I'm loud. I'm fun.
Hmm.
I'd go backstage and I'd get some beers in me and
Yes.
I would talk and I would have a good time. I'm a great guy. I know that because I've never burned anybody. But someone would use that. They use my kindness for weakness in the scene, and that's what it is about Rich O'Toole. People ask about. I had dinner last night with one of the biggest bookers in the world in San Antonio, and I said it's time for me to get back on stage. And he's like, "Yeah,
Hmm.
you're right." He's like, "But everyone uses your kindness for weakness. Everyone in Texas country, you're such a nice guy. They use that as a weakness." And I was like, "You're right about that, man. You're right." And
Hmm.
it broke my heart
Hmm.
because I wanted to help the scene. I wanted to be Robert King. I want to be Pat Green. I was so nice to people.
Hmm.
So that's all it is. That was the hardest part for me was I was like, damn,
I know. I
there's some
know.
there's some good people out there and they're getting burned, and I'm like, what? I can see it in their soul. I can hear it in their voice. They don't deserve that. They don't deserve it. And I'm here to fight for it.
Have you ever wondered how artists like Treaty Oak Revival, Red Clay Strays, and Aaron Watson maintain the high quality and high demand for their merchandise? CH Lone Star Promo is the answer. Created in Texas to serve Texas artists, and they're currently offering 15% off on all merch orders from musicians. Visit chlonestarpromo.com to get started and tell them Texas Toast sent you.
I was reading the other day that it takes at least $1 million to break an artist. That's a ton of change, and it can feel overwhelming. But with social media leveling the playing field, you just need an effective strategy to release your music. Check out Release Rocket to ensure your single does not die after release day. You've already put time, effort, and tons of money into writing and recording your album. Let the guys at Release Rocket keep your new release alive.
Sorry for the
Oh,
speech.
no, no, I'm right with you. And I just think I'm like, I've always been one of your biggest cheerleaders and I always will be. You know that. And the reason why is because when I first met Rich, I was in radio and he did what everybody does. He was doing the grind. You were coming in, you were playing shows, you were putting music out to radio. You took your time to come all the way down to Podunk into the earth, Matagorda, Bay City, Matagorda, to bring us your music. And I think that was amazing. So anyway, yeah, I think you're gonna do great. I think this move is good for you too. I think it's
I
been
appreciate
good for
that
you.
too. No, thank you. And I didn't I hope this doesn't come off as desperate or anything, but as
No,
a guy
no.
that's 41 now and is done well,
Hmm.
now I want to help people out. Now I want to hear their
Hmm.
story. I'm like, what are people saying
Yes.
to you? How can I
Yes.
help you out? I would actually like to start a label and help people that have been abused in the scene. Because people have been abused in the scene and no one wants to talk about it. No one
Hmm.
wants to tell their story. And I'm like, I'll tell my story. People are kind of shady here, man. Like
Hmm.
they're evil. And I'll tell my story. So if you
That's
were
good.
I feel like one of those like traffic lawyers, like if you were hurt, call Rich O'Toole and we'll figure it out. But I don't want to hurt
Right.
anybody. I just want to make sure people are like okay, because there's great music out there, and they need to be heard on radio. They need to sell venues. They need to make money. They need to do well, man. They need to like buy the new car. They need to do well. Like let's prop you up. Let's not
Yeah.
prop you up.
And that, yeah, and that's why too, and it's like, and then we could go into a whole nother conversation with the artists getting paid when they are booked to play a show. That's another situation, that, and I tell people, because where I am, they want people to come play here all the time, and I'm like, you're gonna have to have a budget, and you're gonna have to feed this person. It's like you got to take care. We have to take
They have
care
no
of our
idea.
artists.
People ask me all the time. They're like, "Rich, why aren't you touring?" I go, "Well, we have 7 tour dates, but the people that actually have money." One time I had to sleep in my car to wake up at the bank at 7:30 a.m. to cash a check down in Corpus Christi, Texas. You know how many times I've done that? Probably about 19 times. 19 times I had to sleep in my car to make sure that check didn't bounce. No one in Texas country wants to talk about that.
Right.
No one wants to talk about how the
Mm-hmm.
agents are overpricing artists because they had a #1 song and it didn't make them any money. No one's talking about it. And Rich O'Toole was trying to make a living going, I'll tell you what, that ain't right. I've slept in my car 19 times to make sure a check was cashed the next day. You know how crazy that is?
That is crazy. That is
That's
absolutely crazy,
nuts.
especially with everything that you put into what you're doing and to have to do that 19 times.
Because I knew when I
Wow.
met the promoter and I met the agent or whatever, I remember going, "There's no way this check's gonna clear. There's no way." So what you do is you go to the bank and you ask, how much money's in the account? And they go, well, there's $3,500 in the account. And I go, well, we had 19 people play there, so I know that no one's check's unclear.
Oh.
And so I would go, he only paid me $3,200. I go, well, your check clear. I go, that's fine. And then I get a text from, I won't name their names because I don't want to get sued, other artists in the festival going, because you cashed your check, our check didn't clear. I said, that's not my problem, man. I slept in my car.
I slept in my car all night.
I slept in my car to make sure that check cashed. And trust me, other artists will go on your podcast and they'll do the same thing. They go, yeah.
Yes.
That's really
I hear a lot. Yes.
I know. Sorry. No, I don't.
So I think, no.
I want Texas music to be
So do I.
extremely profitable and great. And it's one of the best things in Texas is the biggest country. And I'm like, dude, we're fine. I want evil people out of it. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I totally agree with that. So we could have a new thing, like you could go to Rich's house and you could get on Rich's couch or his lounger on his patio or deck or whatever, and you can cook for people and you can counsel.
I would definitely help people out because a lot of people got burned in this scene. And I'll be like, come on, you're in a free place. So
and it's so sad that we have to have this conversation, but we're having it, but it's the truth, and I'm seeing it because for a while I had blinders on. I tried not, I'm just kind of like, but then when it starts touching people that have really become close to me, and like you've always been close to me, and I knew there were some struggles there. I didn't know how bad, but it's like now I have zero tolerance for it, and it's like if you can't be respectful to each other, then I don't get it. I just don't get it. So
who really gets it bad in this scene? It's the females. The females get screwed over so bad in Texas. Bad. I mean, bad. And I could do a whole podcast on that. I'm like, man, they're not treated well. You look at the festival lineups, they're never on there. It's like 9 dudes and a female. And they're not getting the guarantees. They're struggling to pay bills. They're probably seriously in debt. And I feel bad for the girls in it. Like, if it was that to me, I would. If I was in the big hitters, I would tell my agent, I go, only female openers. We're going to give opportunities to females. I get them males because they need the cash right now.
And my gosh, all the talent that we have in the Texas country music with the girls, and especially some of the new up and coming
like Caitlin Butts, Bree Bagwell, Pauline. There's so much talent, and they're getting overlooked because everyone in Texas goes. When I talk to my promoter friends, they go, "Well, females don't sell." Who are you? Like, are you the?
I just totally disagree with that.
Are you the MLK of like females? And I'm like, no. But why don't you give them a shot? Why don't you sell them? Why don't you promote them? Like, what are you doing? That's sad, man. I'm like, that's wrong. These people are in debt. Like they're spending their money, they're harding their money to do this, and you're just overlooking them nonstop.
Well,
Sorry.
I like it. The other day I was programming music and it's like, no. The other day I was programming music because, you used to have the whole thing in radio. You can't play so many females back to back to back. Well, I played like
Right.
five back to back to back the other day. So somebody come tell me about that because nobody can tell me about that anymore because I program this station myself. And if I want to
Look what
play 10 girls back to back, I'll play 10 girls back to back. That's my business. That's
look
my
what
business.
Taylor Swift did. She's the number one selling artist in the world. Look what Beyonce did. Females are great. I was raised by a single mother, so
Hmm.
I understand the struggle. And I'm here to fight for them. So we'll figure it out. Other than that,
Hmm.
that's all I got.
Hey, speaking of Pauline Reese, I saw you all duded up doing a video with her. What
Yeah,
was up with
so she's
that?
got a new video out.
Yeah.
She's great, man. I hope she like really breaks out because she's got 3 kids and she's awesome. And like she needs, I'm not saying she's struggling. I see potential and I'm like, man, you're awesome. So I'm trying to figure it out where I'm like, I don't know why she's not crushing it for some reason. Not in a negative way. I'm just like, why aren't you selling out, major dance halls? Because you have all the talent. You're a cowgirl. She's an amazing person. I got to know her recently, and I was like, "That's awesome." That's why I started. She asked me to star in a music video. And I said, "Yeah, of course I will, Pauline. You're a really good person."
That's cool. That's cool.
Because I
Well, while we're on the
felt
subject of girls, then there's Adrienne Johnston that she's been around in Texas music for a while. She's got the Girls Raised in Texas thing
yeah,
going on. It's called Grit. And she does it
yeah.
every year in Marshall. And it's like Caitlin Butts, Sarah Hobbs, Adrienne, and they do this thing. Last year Bree was with them, but I think she's touring somewhere. But I love seeing that group come together, and hopefully I'm scheduled to go there, so I'm gonna get to go to it. But I think it's cool that those girls can get together and do that. We need more of that.
I think so. Look, I don't want this coming out and I want another Rich O'Toole bashing, but I feel like there's people need support and people need help. And honestly, like the girls that are really out there in the scene that are crushing it, from Pauline Reese to Bree Bagwell to Caitlin Butts to everybody,
Mhm.
they deserve, man. Like, let them get a check, let them buy a house. There's a lot of people that are really wealthy in the scene, and there's a lot of females that are struggling, and no one's talking about it. Even like
Hmm.
Jalen Wilson, like she's awesome, but she's not
Oh God,
struggling.
yes.
But she, like, why didn't she? Why is her name at the top of the bill? Why is every festival
Hmm.
dude female? It's like, man, because no one's giving them a shot. They're beautiful. They're amazing. Their music's great. I grew up on the Judds. I mean, my favorite music was when I heard the Judds when I was a kid. I thought that was so cool.
Cool. I love it.
Why not me? I was like, damn. I was like, Dad. I was like, Dad, can you get that tape? He's like, why do you want to buy the Judds? I was like, I don't know. That's hot. That's a great song, man. So I wish them the best, and if I can fight for it, I'll fight for it because I'm always the underdog too. So you know what? I fight for the underdog and the same straight up.
Cool. So yeah, well, I'm excited that we got to visit. I'm so excited that you are back out to radio and you're going to have more radio stuff coming. And speaking of that, I need to get with you because I'm missing a gap of music, like especially yours, because there's some like I've got all the stuff that had been some of the stuff that had been released to radio into my programming, but I need you to send me some of my older stuff that I like from you. We'll get with that after the podcast. But yeah, I need to get
Okay,
some of
good.
your older stuff programmed as well.
Yeah, I'll ask Tammy and we'll figure it out. So
Yeah,
thank you,
cool.
Helen. Like this has been really really great, and I think Fourth of July is a smash. Uh,
Hmm.
so I'll tell you this: I wrote a song called "Hate" that is amazing, and that's the next thing
Mm,
on the radio, and it's really good.
cool.
It's gonna be my biggest hit. It's so good. So that's gonna follow up for
Okay.
July. No one knows about this. No one even knows a word.
Okay.
It's really good. I did when I was like really going through a breakup, and I wrote the song that was like really deep, and I was like, all right, this is it. Like this is the hit. So I'm excited about it. So
Yes, that is exciting. Good. So
I'll release it first with you, and we can talk about it before it comes.
yes, for sure, for sure. Okay, well, anything else we need to talk about that we haven't covered?
It's richhotel.com for tour dates. Come on and see the band and
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
be
yeah,
pro
you're
Tex
playing.
country and be pro female, man. I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I know you've got some show. Aren't you playing like at Rhinestones coming up like
On
this weekend?
yeah, tomorrow night.
That's so cool. That is so cool. Look at you going from Fredericksburg to the Stockyards. Cool. stuff. That's some Texas
And
stuff
then,
right there.
yeah, so then Midland, the next Friday night, it's
Hmm.
me and William Clark Green and um,
Ooh,
Mike Ryan and Dylan Wheeler. And then May 24th, we're playing at Port Aransas. And then July 5th, we're in, no, June 14th, we're in San Angelo. Then July 5th, we're in. So we're back, we're back rolling. We're back
that
out
is some
to, I love it.
great, great, great. I love hearing that. Love hearing it. Yes. And I'm keeping up. So anyway, all right. Well, Rich, thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. And we'll,
Yeah.
as always, be in touch, but keep up the good work. Keep doing what you're doing. And if somebody picks on you, you call me.
Well,
Literally, I'll be there
they're
for
not,
some encouragement. I
are we
got
off
your
the record? I
back.
mean, when we want to get off the record, I'll tell you all the dirt.
Ooh, okay. All right. Yeah. So anyway, but just know I'm always here for you and keep up the good work. Looking forward to watching 4th of July chart. And thanks so much for coming on the podcast,
All
Rich.
right, perfect. Yeah.